When life gets unpredictable, preparation matters. In medicine, it's all about staying alert, ready for whatever comes through the door. On the road, it's no different. That's why Volvo designs vehicles to help anticipate risk, reduce harm, and protect lives. The Volvo XC90's advanced safety systems inspire confident decisions wherever the road takes you. The Volvo XC90, for life. Proud sponsor of the Pit Podcast. Learn more at volvocars.ca/safety.
The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission.
U.S. President Donald Trump, in his video address describing the attack on Iran from over the weekend. Now, here in Montreal, CTV News described the scenes on the streets over the weekend here as pure jubilation, as Iranians living here celebrated the downfall of the Iranian regime. Those scenes were repeated and replicated around the world. Let's now go to one Iranian-Montrealer with his take on the events of the weekend. Siavash Rokni is on the line, an Iranian-Canadian activist and a postdoctoral researcher at McGill University. Siavash, welcome back to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me again.
And let me ask you about how your weekend was. What was your reaction when you heard the news?
Well, we woke up with the news of the war, and we were all anxious of what's happening, who have they targeted, because the first with the 12-day war, we saw that the war started with targets of the regime higher ups and everything, and then there was the rumors that Khamenei was killed, and finally it was confirmed. And honestly, we were happy. I mean, this is the dictator of Tehran. This is the person who has a sea of blood on his hands, and a person who has repressed the Iranian people for so long. So the jubilation is actually a good term to use for our feelings for the news of the death of Khamenei.
What do you think people don't understand? People that have never had to live under the regime or don't have family who live under the regime, what do you think they don't understand?
They don't understand the daily repression and the daily disciplination of the bodies of humans in Iran. I mean, this is not just ideology and everything. It's literal, stopping you on the street for this or for that. I mean, I was there in the 90s, and in the 90s I was stopped on the street because my hair was long. I mean, these are tiny little things besides the repression, besides the arrest, besides the torture in the prisons. It's just the everyday living in Iran is just repression after repression after repression. That feeling, that bodily feeling, can never be understood for somebody who lives, for example, in Canada, because it's just unimaginable. It's an incorporated feeling. It's a body feeling that can't be. It can be expressed, but it cannot be felt.
How hopeful are you that the actions of this weekend will actually lead to a true regime change? Because I see the skepticism. Many people believe that we're just going to end up with a new regime that's just like the old regime. What do you say to that?
Well, the Iranian people do not want the Islamic Republic. They want a transition to democracy, and they will do everything to reach there. Now, what's happening in Iran right now is a war. A war is not a joke. War is violent, but the Iranian people will take the opportunity when they see it to take over their destiny and to transition to democracy and have dignity and liberty, just like what we have over here. So I'm hopeful for that. Everything is so fluid and right now because of the war, because war is war. But regardless of that, there is hope that the repressive structure of the regime is being targeted, and there is hope that once the attacks are over, there's a possibility to go back again and take the power back.
Over the years, through the different U.S. administrations, we had seen tough talk. Sometimes we'd seen deals with Iran. It certainly seemed like every U.S. president considered Iran to be a major threat, if not one of the world's most destabilizing forces out there. But nobody has acted like Donald Trump acted over the weekend. No administration has taken the measures that the Trump administration has taken. How do you view that? How do you view the fact that it's Donald Trump that finally took the action that many had hoped for decades?
I don't know what to say. I mean, this we should not have reached this point. The fact that we've reached this point is that it's not just Donald Trump. It's the intelligence service, the advisors, everything. There is calculations that goes behind a government, a powerful government like the U.S. government. So there is. For one, I think that they saw that the regime is weak. They saw that the people do not want the regime anymore. So they're taking a chance. The Americans are taking. Trump is taking a risk, but risk is always calculated. So there is a calculation going on over there. It's just that Iranians felt forgotten, even when there were talks and everything, and the JCPOA was signed and everything. The regime cannot be trusted, and what Donald Trump is doing is basically just going all in on and giving this strategy a chance. It is a still war. I mean, I'm going to repeat this over and over again. This is a still war. This is violence, but we have tried. The Iranian people have tried every possible civil disobedience to tell the regime that they don't want the regime anymore and they want change. And the last time it happened, they killed tens of thousands of them. So what else is left?
In the days and weeks that lie ahead, what will you be looking at to try and figure out where things will end up in Iran?
Who else are they going to target? The Israelis and the Americans. Who else are they going to target? That will be important. There are still key members like Larijani, who is still alive. How the regime in Iran will react? I mean, you got to remember that the regime has started to attack all the neighboring countries. It attacked Dubai, a hotel in Dubai, and Dubai is like a place for the regime to actually go around sanctions. A lot of people who the regime has to go around the sanctions, they have businesses in Dubai. Now that relationship is all gone. So it shows that the regime is cornered. It would not do. It's basically shooting itself in the foot for doing something like this. So it shows that the regime is cornered and it's doing everything it can to just create chaos. So we got to see who else in the leadership is going to die, what structures are going to be hit in the future. There are already many structures of military structures and repression structures that have been destroyed. So we're going to see what else is going to be destroyed, and how the regime will react to it, and how it will create more chaos, what kind of chaos it will create.
Siavash, I have to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Elias. Have a good day.
You too. Siavash Rokni is Iranian-Canadian activist and a postdoctoral researcher at McGill University.
Introducing Bryan Adams Radio on iHeartRadio. Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
Join me for an insider look on a wild ride through 40 years of global rock and roll.
Bryan Adams Radio. Now available on the free iHeartRadio app. Or ask your smart speaker to play Bryan Adams Radio on iHeartRadio.
Who's ready to rock?
Everywhere I go, kids wanna rock.